Hey everybody, it's Dave here from Dragonhill Games, and I have a pleasure to be joined by Will Shoemaker. He's one of the premium JUND players that I know. He's going to be playing a tournament here in our store tonight, so we're going to see how he does, get some gameplay video in there, and we'll talk to Will a little bit about his deck and what he thinks some of the current improvements have been since some of the new sets, and where the deck sits today in the current meta. So, hey Will, how's it going?
Good, very good, Dave.
Good.
Thanks for having me.
Awesome. So, what improvements did Modern Horizons make to JUND?
So Modern Horizons gave JUND a lot of new toys in the form, like it's a lot of flexible stuff. So Ren and 6 seems to be kind of the staple that everybody's going to right now. There's also a lot of decks playing Plague Engineer and Seasoned Pyromancer. I've seen some lists with Unearth, but I'm not sold on it just because it's it's bad and you don't really want it in the opener. It's a good like sideboard card, but right now the sideboard's kind of tight with Hogak running around.
Right.
But Ren and 6 is definitely the biggest thing, and I'm not at the optimal amount of copies in the deck yet because I'm still looking for them. But it's when I have drawn it and played it, it's performed very well. I've been very happy with Ren and 6.
Awesome. So what do you feel is the optimal amount of copies of Ren and 6? I've seen some lists with 4. Like where would you like to be?
I think 3 is the correct number. A lot of lists are doing like a 3-3 split with Liliana of the Veil right now, which makes sense because there's the synergy of discarding a land and then returning it with Ren and 6. But the fact that Ren's ultimate is a game ender because you can retrace your lightning bolts and Kolaghan's commands from the yard like over and over again, you need extra copies in order to get the lands back so that you can retrace them. So like the first one ults and then the other copies have to be able to just come and get the lands back. So I think 3 is probably correct. It's basically a Dark Confidant, but it's stronger in this meta than a Dark Confidant is, so I think 3 is correct, and then you can play 1 copy of Confidant or just go to like, more removal, which I think removal needs to come up too right now because of Hogak, because Fatal Push and Bolt is very bad against it, so people need to start playing more copies of trophies, I think, in order to combat that. Because Liliana can't always edict an 8/8 because of all the little Bloodghasts and Gravecrawlers and Stitcher Suppliers and stuff. Like there's enough there that you need your hard targeted removal at instant speed. So I wouldn't be surprised if Terminate came back. It really just depends on how much you do or don't want to give your opponent a land off of the trophy. I think that's kind of like the argument there, but I think we'll see some changes happening to the deck there.
Awesome. So so how do you feel the deck sits overall? Like what are your good matchups? What are the matchups you really don't want to run into?
Any creature strategies are what I want to run into that isn't like graveyard based, I guess. So Dredge and Phoenix are still kind of like okay matches. I haven't played against Hogak in paper yet, but I have online, and it's okay, but not great. Merfolk is an easy matchup. Humans is usually pretty good. Devoted Druid combo decks, those I enjoy playing against because you have enough disruption to kind of get through them, and then you have your option in the sideboard of like your Surgicals or whatever in order to make sure that they're gone forever.
Right.
But the decks that you have a hard time against would be your big mana stuff, so Titan Shift, Scape Shift, Tron, any of those kinds of combo decks. And then even just like combo decks in general, you usually have a harder time dealing with it because your only way of attacking them is through discard, and especially if they're not a creature-based combo, half of your deck is useless because a lot of it is removal, right?
Awesome. Okay, well let's see how Will performs tonight. We always recommend shopping at your local game store. However, if there's something you can't find locally, we have provided a link for every card you see in this video in the description. Using that link will help support this channel. Okay, before we get to the gameplay, let's have a look at how Will is rolling out his deck tonight. 4 copies of Tarmogoyf is pretty typical for a JUND build. You will also notice that he is running 3 copies of Dark Confidant, but he did say earlier that he would replace up to 2 of these with additional copies of Ren and 6. Also 2 copies of Bloodbraid Elf, 1 Skooz, and 1 Kalidas, which he feels performs well in the local tournament scene. When it comes to removal, Will's packing 2 copies of Assassin's Trophy, 1 Abrupt Decay, a couple of copies of Kolaghan's Command, 2 copies of Fatal Push, and 1 Maelstrom Pulse. When it comes to disruption, the deck has all the toys. It runs 2 Thoughtseize and 4 copies of Inquisition of Kozilek. It also runs 3 Lightning Bolts as spot removal and to help get across the finish line, and 2 copies of Nihil Spellbomb as main deck graveyard hate. The deck runs an impressive complement of some of the most feared planeswalkers in the game. 4 copies of Liliana the Veil, and although he's only rolling with 1 Ren and 6 tonight, he did mention earlier that he would bump this up to a maximum of 3, and 1 copy of Liliana the Last Hope. When I inquired with Will about Liliana the Last Hope, as I considered her to be a non-traditional choice for JUND, he did say that she's amazing in grindy matchups, and she also deals nicely with X4 creatures when you combine her plus ability with a lightning bolt. Will's fetch shock package is pretty straightforward in that he's running 4 copies of Virident Catacombs, 3 copies of Bloodstained Mire, and 1 Wooded Foothills, combined with 2 copies of Overgrown Tomb, 2 copies of Stomping Ground, and 1 Blood Crypt. Also 4 Blackcleave Cliffs as nice early game fast mana, 1 Twilight Mire, 2 Raging Ravines, and a Treetop Village as his Manland package. Manlands are phenomenal at recovering after a board wipe, and Treetop Village is extra insurance against very aggressive decks. Also we have 1 Forest, 1 Mountain, and 2 Swamps to round out our basic lands. Will's sideboard is packed with quality answers to face off against quality decks. I gotta be honest, I'm looking forward to Hogak getting banned, and let's be realistic, that ban is going to be coming. But for now, everybody who can is pretty much forced to run 4 copies of Leyline of the Void. Ashiok is also a nice side-in against graveyard decks. Anger of the Gods is a quality board wipe and really gets the job done against Bloodghast and Vengevines. And Kitchen Finks is a nice side-in against burn and aggressive decks in general. Rounding out Will's sideboard, he runs 1 copy each of Fulminator Mage, Pithing Needle, Ancient Grudge, Grim Lavamancer, Collective Brutality, and Huntmaster of the Fells. Now that we've had a look inside Will's deck, let's watch some gameplay and see why Will is one of the best JUND players that I know.
Okay.
Good luck.
Good luck to you.
So I will attack you for
Second main phase.
8. Go ahead. Fine.
You already.
This is a 2-1 fish.
I'll keep.
Perfectly lined up.
6 lands and a fatal push.
Okay, so if you block though, you just take 6. Okay, 6. Here.
The second keep. Alright, start her up.
Go.
Go ahead.
19.
3. Yep. Yeah, I'll leave them. So I can stand for it.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6.
I have these 3. Take 4.
3, 1, 4, 2, 5.
Yep. And then turn fetch, 19.
If you're gonna block, there's a chance the creature was dead and I was in trouble. Because what you get like or gut shotted, making it 1 bigger. Yeah. You need 2 gut shots. Work. Yeah. Will survive. It can't get me unless it survives you. So.
A creature you control is on his hand and you can't play it until your next turn. It's just 1.
I'll go down to 16, fetch shock for Overgrown Tomb.
Then the next turn in my hand.
And then
And then I'm going to
Dark,
play.
go ahead.
I don't even think I have an image. It's probably Lance Rider again.
I'm going to counter that.
So 3, 6, 9, 11.
Yep.
This is the only one you can watch.
And then I get
1 counter.
1 less.
No, these are
Take it away.
Okay, so I'm going to deal the damage to this guy, and then this dies. Yes.
Pass.
Same. This one dies.
It's not that I can.
Yeah, this is personally. So
I'm going
deal the
to-
damage to
Burn
that.
is not such a box right up, so I don't have a lot of sideboard for it. Right? Because like, I mean, it's technically no burn, but
I'm never gonna land a spell in.
all I have to do is either get a turn 0 ley line or against against you because you're cross. The problem is you have to pull yourself to get some of those cross.
That to 2, that to 3.
You didn't take 9. You're at
Narset.
Yep.
vigilant.
I'm gonna look.
Sure. Top 4. Creature, no land card.
Well, I found Days Undoing.
Okay.
He's just going to put on.
Which is each player shuffles his or her hand. Okay, yeah, it's the
You
wheel.
can't get a mountain.
Gotcha. Eliana?
Yep.
Mine's 2, targeting you.
Alright,
Alright, wheel it.
So I'm gonna put in the white dismantle or whatever, that's 2 purple. Go ahead, destroy target artifact or disenchant. Right now it's a 6-6. Is there? What is it? Okay.
It was just printed, but it also can make it a lot better.
Yeah, it's just.
It's still the same.
So it's 2.
It's
2 and you can.
yeah. So you can choose to destroy it.
Yeah, so I'm gonna do this.
Is it?
But you're only gonna draw 1 card.
Yep. It's hand and graveyard, right?
Yeah. Oh wait, I have to exile the exile this. I like it.
I think I probably misplayed last turn actually. But I'll tell you after the game.
Draw 7. Yeah, you're gonna draw 1. I'm gonna draw 7, and then my turn's over.
I have a creature advantage. I have more than 1 land. It's okay. That'll do.
Well,
Could have been better. My lands would be
But
better. I have a
trophy Narset.
anger to the
I don't want to get
I don't think it's
Yeah, nobody against you, there's a good chance you just boarded in blood moves, so having basics might not be the
This
worst.
comes in, wait, tapped?
Untapped.
He's playing.
And then I'm gonna +1 Liliana. I have no cards in hand.
Yeah. I'm going to.
I got that. I bought a box.
I'm just gonna opt in response.
Yep.
Yeah, that's probably fine. I'll discard. Don't I need here?
That's a lot of
Oh, kind of good.
Sure.
Okay. Play Narset.
Yep.
I'm gonna look. Well, on a remand.
It's kind of shatty, so I'm really scared I'm gonna. Well, I'm really scared I'm gonna eat a blood moon next turn. Rank 4.
Pass.
3.
Draw.
Yeah, I
Take
can
up.
understand it coming.
Discard.
Probably dead now, unless I run into a forest.
Command.
Or, creature gonna give me rank 4. To get my rank 4 back, I can get forest. Is that worth it?
Okay.
Oh, that's a question. Is that worth it? I'm casting it. I just don't know if I'm gonna pack your thing or my thing. That's the serious question. Is it worth it? Get a forest.
What is coming
I think I can do it, yeah. I'm gonna pass my own bottle. So I take 2. He just blood moves. So rank 4, it's trigger, back to hand.
It's like, it's not a
Sorry, Blade Scout. Either way, it doesn't matter. They're both rehashed. It was reworded. See?
Just play.
The deck would work if that actually. Get it.
And I'll pass.
You can fetch down to 15.
That's why I passed it, because I was looking and I got another creature in hand, and I'm like,
Tapped
this
over
could
into-
work. Because I have a planes out already. so this might. If I went off having my own boggle, I'm not gonna lie, it's pretty good.
Draw.
So
Land. -2 targeting you.
another mount.
Go ahead.
Tap.
Yep.
Oh my god, shut up. Here at our petty.
Draw trees.
Let him know I'll get creature.
Just keep drawing lands.
Tick up.
Sorry, that's
Discard.
the one I wanted. That is the one I wanted. I had to make it toughness big enough to not get folded.
Activate Raging Ravine.
Because it has no hex power.
Yeah.
Swing a Narset trigger.
Plus it has shove.
It's 4/4.
Ah! What's live?
Yeah, that's fine.
Yeah.
Go
That's
ahead.
unfortunate, but like I think this was the only way I physically can go forward, right? Yeah. I have to somehow outramp the negative damage.
Shepard Green play at Hyrule. Sure.
Okay, so it's got 3 negative damage.
It's a manageable.
Yep. And you're turning down to 14.
I'm going to Shadow Doubt.
Okay.
You just got it. Like I can't play through this. I don't have. You've got it. Like I can't. I've got rank.
Oh, wow.
I don't have another creature and I'm sitting under a
Maelstrom Pulse thing in the ice.
Yeah, but
That's pretty good.
yeah, Bloodman's really strong against Bogus. I don't know how I'm gonna deal with that. Right. The
And
correct is the base.
I'm gonna force
Yeah.
discarding or exiling spell pierce.
Yep, that's fine.
Yeah, that. You have to be able to trade. I didn't really have another choice. Like I could have half the slow start and then
Damn it.
I don't think I could have gotten there on 1/4.
And I almost shuffled it away. And then you had the answer anyways. Alright, what do we got here now?
I wanted to have on my turn to
Trade in
so I
Lily.
started going.
I understand.
4 cards in hand. Imagine you can catch 2. I think I have to. Trade in Lily.
Well, I didn't
Go ahead.
have everything I could play because it was point specific and I had all green cards in hand. So I was like, well, I might as well. I could have played a core and not played the enchantment, but I was just like, nah.
Yeah. I'm just.
I take
Yep.
two emissaries.
Yeah, game time.
For something.
A guide all of them. Play the same things.
Do you know how the attraction works?
I'm gonna play the Thalia here. Now all of the features and your focus
I hate that.
Yes, all of them. I actually wanted to get
pass.
non-basic.
Yeah, I was playing alright and I just never finished it.
Yeah, so can't just back to it.
Ooh, Thoughtseize.
These are fine. These are already in.
Mono red blood moon. I don't know how many you have, but you could theoretically have it. Yeah.
Is this shuffled already?
I haven't tried it.
I have to. I'm still thinking about.
Yeah, game 1 I got him.
the,
Game 2 a blood moon came down and I just couldn't get through it.
This actually exiled the Maelstrom Pulse.
Is this the same? That was already strike.
Oh, it exiles the spell.
Yeah.
She has first strike, so she
I
blocks.
I have made it turn over. Aside from your Days
Undoing,
Undoing,
I
but
need to go get basics because theoretically
Days Undoing does nothing.
I can see a mono red deck playing up to 4 blood moons. There isn't even cut yet, so
I will look at that.
yeah.
That's
Block.
It's really fun.
And take
How
one.
long were you watching?
Watch 10 leaves. 2 hours each.
I'll take Snapcaster.
Really?
Activate Raging Ravine.
I
Yeah.
have to fetch a shot, so if I get blood moon, I'm gonna cry.
You play a mural interested.
Good.
Yeah.
Combat swing at Narset trigger.
Has double strike.
I'm at 12 off for Thoughtseize, by the way.
Yep.
Oh, I'm pretty sure he's got like 4 blood moons. I'm probably getting blood moon. I'm just hoping.
Sounding good. He had 2 Thing in the Ice, and I top deck Maelstrom Pulse, and then he forced negation to it.
I don't know.
I misplayed earlier in the game. So, this is where we're at.
Really?
Yeah, thanks.
Huge chance.
Rice bowl and
I mean, it's your game.
rice bowl.
Go ahead and thank you.
This is like all the only thing you buy back with cake, man.
Yeah.
Like cycling.
Well, it's passive.
Trigger or return or.
Yeah, you could do
River, O Stone, like you can let a lot of things happen. The Rise Ball, buy it back.
Ready for that turn?
Activate Raging Ravine.
Did you just cut your deck that already cut it?
Yep.
Move to combat, swing, trigger.
Does it have,
Doesn't have trample.
is reach? Is that what it is?
No. It's just when it attacks, it gets a +1/+1 counter.
I'm gonna Snapcaster,
Sure.
and I'm gonna opt.
Okay.
I'm gonna target opt. I'll just opt now.
That
Sure.
shock. First strike. Go ahead.
So with first strike,
I always wondered how they dealt with
it.
that.
So
Threats
it's fine.
bigger than
Draw
3
this.
costs.
I'm gonna block.
Turn the Rise Ball.
Okay.
yeah, she dies.
And then
Goes down.
okay.
Nothing dies.
Pass the turn.
Of course. Yeah. Give me basic land on top.
It returns all non-horrors, right?
Yeah.
Is it elemental? Red and green elemental.
Yeah, non-horrors.
Okay.
Seven plus 5, which is 12.
Guess I might as well play. No, I'm just gonna pass.
Yes, 4, Curtis. 4.
Take 3. Go to 13. You probably just went off that.
Liliana?
Yeah, humans is pretty.
That's right.
Yeah, you got it.
Next turn is
My hand was gassy, so I need to see another land, and I did.
Hey!
Yeah, I got 2 in
I'm just gonna remand it.
That's actually really dope.
7
Yeah,
turn
you got
3.
yeah,
Six down. I'll draw.
Yeah. 4.
yeah,
the blood moon.
matchup usually, but it's like not as bad as
Turn game or game 1. I don't know the game 1
Run
yet.
out again.
probably not.
But once you get into,
I'm gonna fetch.
you get supported 2 paths.
Okay, oh, so you already shortcutted it.
Yeah.
Okay.
I mean, it's-
Assuming that's what's happening.
that makes sense.
I ask you what cards you have in your hand, but I don't think it really matters anymore.
I'm 1.
Alright.
It's gonna get me there.
My turn.
Yeah.
Just fight around. Because I didn't need Yeah, I knew
My
you-
Raging Ravine's a 6/6.
I'm not really scared.
Really good against
I'm scared of what
having to discard a card.
This is what I can't believe. I just had another
I can only play 1 a turn, so
I don't know where
it's Liliana Engine's pretty good against him. Not really though, because he just
Yeah, that's true.
keeps drawing.
I wait because I didn't have another line, so I had another line. I could have played a second enchantment and not have that. Yeah.
Tick up Liliana. Spend Meyer.
Like not even that.
Raging Ravine
This
activation.
was one
Yeah.
good-
Combat swing for 7.
I'm at
Yeah, I
11.
told you that he could be amazing.
Yeah, I know, I did keep that hit.
So 11?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Go.
Okay.
Jared's like the same deck. Some of them might be with it.
Yeah.
I don't know exactly what it is. Is this 60?
None of this stuff has any use.
Bring on your 3 mana Teferi.
I can't do it. Yeah, I know. I can't do anything with this card's just either. Well, whatever. I'll just play it.
Sure.
He's pretty much useless. I guess I might as well do something.
Creature
I'll
orange.
check him up
Yeah.
Yeah, 25.
because the tick down. I guess I could draw a card, but I don't have a target.
Yeah.
I'll pass.
Okay.
I think he came out to 25.
So now you can play sorceries with flash, right? That's his thing.
Yeah.
I'm such a crazy weekend.
Tick up.
Yeah, I've got even starting today, I've got Sage Magic and it's driving around stuff to do.
All these cards are silly right now.
Activate Ravine.
Yep.
I'm just gonna kill Teferi.
Yep.
Go ahead.
So I get 9/9 next attack.
Yes.
Oh, one of these cards.
And tomorrow I've got an exam in the morning.
I don't want to give him 7 new cards.
Yeah, they
Uh,
college thing. Anyway,
I'll just pass.
And then I gotta go do some landscaping stuff.
Tick up.
The next day
Yeah.
I have training.
From 3 lands in a row that I can just pitch. Hit you for 9.
2.
No, I've got training and I've got Saturday.
Well,
I would like to too, but I have
considering it's going to die next, so I'm just going to leave that in the turn. Okay, let's go to game 2.
Just not expecting it. But I guess you just don't have any instant speed removal to deal with the ravine.
Yeah.
Just gonna bullpen. Oh, was it not recording?
Forgot.
I can make it bigger.
Yeah, you haven't seen this deck yet. It's fun.
I'll go to 16. Cover forest.
Lantern of Insight.
Oh, actually, right. I forgot you were doing that. So
It's
is
the Italian one or Spanish or whatever it is. But like, there's no. It's
Okay.
Creatura and then Lurglyph,
Yeah.
Tarmogoyf, and then this is all the other
So
language.
it's a 2/3, I believe.
Yes, 3/4. Instant creature.
Oh yeah.
land.
Okay.
Go ahead.
What's my ex's name? You don't know her at all. You're too fucking chicken
I will
shit
pass
to
the
go and
turn.
talk to your Sarah language,
I
please.
hope I don't have a Maelstrom Pulse.
I hope so too.
You have 3 in hand.
3 cards at the end.
Push.
There's the same stuff.
Yeah. 3.
Three?
Swing for 3.
Yep. I will go down to 17.
When you're on the, when you get behind humans, there's a little, Well, who won? I won the first game in like 2 months. Yeah. He won the first game in like, I'm sure. A couple more minutes. Took you, you know.
I will spike you.
Down to 13.
I guess even like, I don't know if I should have called that hand.
You're wondering
It's
what
just
Okay, light up the stage.
my land
Yep.
sucks, but the
I had actually my break somewhere, but just finding green land and I had 1 green enchantment. I'm like, if I find green land or if I find a white enchantment, I'm fine, and I just didn't.
Yeah, because you're not winning the game. You're just,
Okay, so hopefully this time we won't go down to 4.
yeah, if you just have them find a creature.
Pay 1 life. I'm gonna cast that light up the stage.
Yep.
You're more setting yourself up slowly now.
Final
It's like,
Is it
I wouldn't
play
mind
or
seeing-
cast?
It's play.
Play. So you can
lands
play
off
the
it.
mountain
Yep.
next turn.
Exactly, yeah.
And that's a sorcery, correct?
It is a sorcery.
4. Goes 4, 5.
Yeah. There was also a long spike, but yeah.
I maybe should.
Swing 4.
Sure. And 12.
Faster. I also had, I did have a deck to give. Yeah, I'm gonna do that.
Draw a card
Oh,
first.
here. Third. Thank you. Alright. I don't do that. It was just, I mean, that's all the cards I could need, right?
Yeah, I mean, no burn deck. You only need like 6. Yep.
I'm slow, even if I just because I keep it.
In response to the Metamorphose.
Sure. So there's 2 triggers.
Yeah. So, and then, like, with the triggers on the stack still.
Yeah, yeah.
Pull against command, 2 damage, you discard.
Okay. That's fine. So,
I go to 4 now. No, it's just like,
Okay.
I'm always like that.
And then,
Morphos is good?
yeah.
Okay.
Morphos.
I go to
Yep.
4 last time to see my first.
And you're floating double red, I assume?
Yeah, double red. Yeah, sorry. Yeah, it's always going to be double red. I will get in for 2.
Down to 12.
If you had 11.
11.
Yeah.
Yeah, you're correct.
Did I get my 1? I'm at 11 as well.
Off of this up big.
Up
Yeah.
the, I will pass the turn.
attack you for
4.
Miss your hand again?
I'll try.
Yeah, we had to do our own around the summer house. Into a house that is actually like enters a battlefield.
Take up targeting Swiss Spear
So it's -2, -1
until my next turn.
Okay.
Land, swing for 4.
I wanted to remember we did
8. Sorry, 7.
that's a lot.
Go ahead.
If I get to look at your hand, I'm able to write it down, I can't write it. But we actually finalized the deal at 10.
Can they drop to negative power?
Yeah, technically counts as 0.
Counts as 0.
I think so.
So if you cast one spell, it goes up. But no, because it's a static -2, so you have to. It is like negative
It's
1.
0,
Yeah.
Never goes to negative.
Crack that.
Yeah.
That shock, so you're at 17, then you took 6, so you're at 11.
It's not terrible.
It's like one of those things you have like once in a while, but you don't have it like every time you get an energy drink. It's just not worth it.
Pickle sitting?
Yep.
Trigger.
2, 3, and that's a 1, 2. I don't understand why a family would rent for that much.
So this would be right now a -1.
It's a 0.
Or a 0, yeah.
At that point.
0, 1.
Yeah.
Or 0, 2.
You could call
And
it
this
a
is a
technical
2-3.
-1 to make it easier to remember.
I really don't care, but you have a chemistry consider if you have 4, 7, 5,
So
4, 7,
crack
5.
Swiss Spear. It's sitting in. Okay. Well, I'll go to combat anyways and attack you for 2. And I guess this doesn't matter, so yeah, that's fine. Take you to 9 on pass the turn.
I'll go to 8 end turn.
I live in a semi
Red.
Lightning Helix.
Just to balance it.
Pumped up twice, and that makes you 6, 7.
It's like it's not like a good semi. Star, yeah, flipping
7,
There you go.
9, 10.
I did steal one.
-2.
Just on. Oh, -2. Okay.
Yeah, so it'll mill myself too. Oh my god, yes. I'm gonna return kitchen
Pretty good.
things.
Yep.
5, 6.
It's mostly good for people in my situation.
Kitchen finks.
Yep, you're at 10.
10.
People 1 minute, mulligan.
Shock. Back down to 8. Combat for 4.
Okay, I'll go to 3.
If you're in a bad situation, you're never gonna get out of it. You're writing like that.
If you mulligan there, you probably have a better hand.
Other house that we looked at, it was like we wanted to remember with 7 people. It was massive.
Like, are you trying to play this game and actually win?
And altogether the record was 400.
Stop keeping crappy hands. Stop keeping shit.
But the landlord didn't want 7.
Mulligan, trying to give you a chance to yourself a chance to win.
Living in the house with like
You're smarter than
sets
that.
of income. Because it's easier to like control and like
Curtis, this is the point.
I'll flashback it. So
that added up to
Kitchen reaches.
not the 7.
Dugan Stone, you're not getting past that.
I'm doing the 5.
late.
Are we doing another round? Is it 3 or 4?
It's promise.
If it's over,
No one landed on the play.
That thought that he was expecting it to really
That's not a good hand. And you didn't have a second land.
Yeah,
That's awkward.
To make it a good hand.
I think I'm probably just
That's not a good hand.
to discard stuff and reveal things.
It's not a good hand.
I don't think I can cut you through kitchen things. So yeah.
Kind of ring.
Doing 3?
So yeah, we'll get a good 3. Yeah, I don't think I can cut you through the kitchen things there.
It's pretty solid. Pretty solid card against Brink.
Yes.
Yes.
Are you on the
I'm gonna ping myself for 1.
I hate all of it. That's pretty bad. It's this thing.
I think Metamorphose is the worst one, but I also am not huge on Double Thought, so I will take Metamorphose.
I think that's, is it correct?
I mean, I don't know.
Okay, well,
It really depends on what my next draws are, right?
yeah. Go ahead.
Oh, yeah. I only have one, unfortunately.
Ping myself for a Thought Scour.
You know this is in your hand,
No,
right?
I'm not married.
Yeah, it's my
I'm not married. Yeah, it is.
So you're 18?
You've been hanging out with Jared for a while.
That's
Both become very
that's my draw. So Opta, Cascade.
Yep.
Nothing.
Trigger on here.
Yep.
I'll take that.
Wow, I don't like any of this.
I do. Based on the fact that you don't. Thought Scour again, dude.
Yeah, I gotta do it.
Run it. Man.
Oh! Hard to get when you
Ooh, Robbie, what's happening?
What's happening? I have 2 triggers on my Swift Spear. That's
Hit
what's
me for
happening.
3.
I can hit you for more.
Can? How? You get a surgical my Inquisition?
Nah, I'm just gonna hit you for 3.
Gotcha. Down to 16.
Only ever been dealing damage to myself.
I'm gonna real quick bolt that.
Yeah, you got that. Go ahead.
Fetch down to 15.
If I draw right card, you're in very
So, put it back on my clothes here. So you got
12? Yeah. You have 14?
I was gonna say,
And stuff.
Yep.
Okay. Sure.
Yep. Phoenix.
Thing in the ass.
Okay. Instant.
Oh, really? That sucks.
Good. How many cards in hand?
2.
-2. Mill an Inquisition, mill a trophy, return a Confidant. Sure. Go ahead.
Yeah.
How many cards? 4. Go ahead.
Tick up target on nothing. Cuff it up. Okay, go ahead.
Sugar Billy, since I'm casting it,
Circle.
I get to draw a card. You know where I get it? Draw a card. I'm ready to go. Okay, so right now.
I had Jared on Mad Tilt earlier. Did you see that? He had Mantis Rider, Reflector Mage, with base power toughness, and I top decked game. I revealed it to a dark one. No, I didn't. I think I just top decked game through on the table.
That's just a oof.
It was a big oof.
This is gonna be my warrior Pokemon 1-1.
Go ahead. You have 1 card in hand.
Yes, sir.
Tick up targeting nothing. Really? Tick up.
Response.
Yep.
What's your hand? Myself. 17 to 20.
I'm gonna discard Stomping Ground.
Yep.
Go ahead.
I got it. So I'm trying to do it a bit more in the ultimate draw. No, I'm on the draw.
It's not a good run for this deck, is it? Might not be. Yeah, like it's just not firing the way it usually does.
Yeah, no, it's because I keep drawing into stupid lands. Like my graveyard is like half the creatures I need and half lands and then the cantrips.
And they're just not lined up in the correct
No,
order.
no. I would have preferred Thoughtsseizing the lands away.
And you're like, well, you won the die roll. I'm just saying. Okay. Is it a land? Well, I can't decide.
I was just trying to get more cards, and you're all like, get out of here, Confidant.
Go ahead.
It's fair though.
Yeah, no, Confidant's too good. Because like, if I had left Confidant, you'd be cards ahead right now. I mean, you're cards ahead, but you'd be even farther. How dare you, sir? Go ahead.
So right now I blocked him. It dies.
You're gonna counter target non-creature spell unless I pay 2?
Yeah, dude.
You got it. Sure. Should have ticked up first.
Yeah, you should have ticked up first.
Well, no, it's because I wanted to return a land. I like the cards in my hand.
I'm only doing that because you
So
can't
I'm
cast
gonna
it
go
with
plus,
Yeah.
and then I'm gonna go plus, and then I'm gonna go -2, and I'm gonna take this back.
Yeah, I thought as much.
Go ahead.
Yeah, I was a little nervous about going back, but I'm like, if I don't get triggers over his turn, then I'm definitely
Yeah, call it. You've got too many walkers for me.
I had another Lily.
Jeez. Alright, note to self. Don't double thoughts, he's myself.
John Walker's gets it done.
How's this going?
Turns
Wow,
out
4-0 on the night. That was amazing. Good job, Will. So, you had some really great matchups. Do you remember, or can you walk us through exactly who you played? Any matches that you felt were really tight, maybe could have went the other way?
So round 1 was versus blue-white Narset Wheels, kind of a homebrew, but with the core of like it wasn't a taking turns deck because there wasn't the take turns spells, but it was mostly focused on like a thing in the ice wheels kind of setup. And I felt like I misplayed on turn 3 in game 1 when I should have thought seized and then followed it up with a Dark Confidant versus his turn 3 Narset. But then as the game went on, because then after that on his turn 4 he Days Undoing'd me and I had basically 1 card a turn. But it got to the point in that game specifically where my Raging Ravine was at like a 9/9 and I was able to just keep killing him with that, and
awesome.
it just got it done. And then I think game 2 was Tarmogoyf beatdown that just got there.
Okay.
So it was, just Jund stuff.
Yeah.
Round 2 I played against Humans, I believe. I got very lucky with some top decks in that match. One being he had 2 Mantis Riders and a Reflector Mage, and I top decked Anger of the Gods.
Oh, sweet.
And that'll
wreck a Humans player for sure.
But I think he took game 1, so that would have been game 2. But it was pretty close for the most part. Like it was a kind of standoffish. Round 3 I played against Mono Red Phoenix, which was probably the least close one of the night. Like I think I 2-0'd it pretty handily. And I don't know, there's not really any memorable moments from it. And then final round was versus Blue Red Phoenix. We went to game 3, where my opponent happened to be, I think he was 1 damage, 1 off lethal.
Wow.
Because of his Aria of Flame.
Okay.
So he got his Aria up to 6, and I think Aria of Flame is like the real deal for sideboard stuff for like the Phoenix decks. If you're going to be casting a lot of spells, you want Aria of Flame, especially because it deals with a lot of Planeswalkers. And right now in Modern, we have a whole lot of Planeswalkers being played. So it's something that can stick to the board and constantly fight off Planeswalkers by casting an Opt.
Yeah, for sure. It seems real strong.
Wiping out a Karn with an Opt or 2 seems really good.
Yeah.
Right?
Awesome.
So, and then 4-0 for the night.
Wow, amazing. You did really well. Congratulations. And thank you guys for watching. I hope you enjoyed watching the gameplay. If you haven't subscribed already, please consider hitting that button now. We post at least 2 videos every week. All right, we'll see you soon.